Hello everyone, so for today's video I'm going to do a IMATS haul and just kind of talk about my experience going to IMATS, because it was the first time I've ever been to anything like that, and it definitely was an experience. It was a really good one, but there's just a couple of things that I think people should keep in mind maybe if they're deciding whether or not they want to go, and obviously just tips for going on the actual day as well. I've got quite a lot of stuff here. I didn't get a ton, but I think I got a fair amount, so I was really happy with what I ended up coming out with. I was only actually there for probably about 2 hours, which I'll get into in a minute. So yeah, they had these like massive bags when you walked in that you could just kind of pick up, which I thought was really good, so that as you were buying stuff throughout the day you could just put it in there. And then I just got loads of stuff loose in bags and stuff as well, so I will just get on with it. The first thing I want to show you, this I actually got for free. It was on a stand. All you basically had to do was download an app and create an account and follow them on Instagram, which I did. I'll have a link to the app down below. And they had like a little machine thing where you could, it was almost like the claw machine that's in the arcades. And he said to have a go, so I had a go. I didn't win anything, but he gave me something anyway. And you got to choose between a primer, a lip balm and something else, but I decided to go for the primer, and it's by the brand Wonderland, which I've never actually heard of before. He said it was like a silicone oil-free primer. It looks very similar, at least in my opinion, to the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. I do really like primers like this, and especially now it's getting a lot warmer, I think it will be a nice primer to use. It's very, very soft, and like it's that kind of really silky feeling. Doesn't smell of anything at all, and it just sinks into the skin. So that is actually a really nice primer. I'm really glad I went for this, and I definitely can't wait to give it a go. And I just put a little bit on my hand, so a little bit does seem to go a really long way, and it has really smoothed out my skin. So that's one thing that I picked up. They had a, I can't remember, I think it was Beauty Bee Cosmetics or something, and it was like a big tables with loads of different brands on, and one of the brands they had was Sigma, and I've been absolutely dying to get the Sigma E40 brush. I don't have like a big blending brush that I really like. The one that I've got, I feel like has shed quite a lot, so it's not as dense as what I wanted to be. So I got the Sigma E40 brush. I'll take it out so that you can have a look. I've bought Sigma, I think I've bought one Sigma brush before from, I think it was Cult Beauty. I'm pretty sure I showed it in a haul. It didn't come in a box like this. It come in just like a plastic thing, and the brushes were a bit bent when I got it, so I was quite happy that this come packaged like this. So that is what the brush looks like. So it's just very big and fluffy. I absolutely love Sigma brushes. They are so soft, and I just like the fact that it's a nice big brush. I see a lot of people use this for like the initial transition colour, so yeah, I am super excited to give that a go. So I went to a stand where there was like loads of different brands again, and I actually got to meet Melanie Mills, and she was standing there with her products, and I had a nice little chat with her. She was so nice, and she was talking to me about this, and she actually helped me pick the colour that I wanted. I've seen this all over Instagram, and I'm so excited to finally use this. I've been looking for something that is like a body glow, but I don't really like oils and stuff like that, because it probably sounds really stupid, but I burn really bad in the summer, and even though they're oils, it scares me that they're gonna make me burn more. So I wanted like more of a lotion as opposed to like a body oil. So I've seen these all over. I ended up getting the Peach Deluxe, which is the Sondra, I think that's how you pronounce her name. It's her kind of collaboration with Melanie Mills, and it's an absolute gorgeous colour. I think it's going to really suit my skin tone. I really like the fact that it comes with a thing as well, so you know it's not been opened. But between all the colours, I think that this is going to look the nicest when I'm tanned, and I think I can get away with it when I'm fair as well. She tried a couple of different colours on the back of my hand and on my arm, and I think this one just looked the nicest. And I really wanted something that would be nice for me to wear on my wedding day, just kind of on like my chest and my arms a little bit, just to give a little bit of a glow. So I'm really excited. I'll show you a little tiny bit. So that's what the colour looks like before it's all mixed in, and then that's what it looks like. It's probably really hard to see in this light, but it just gives such a nice sheen, but it's not glittery, which is what I really like, and it just adds a tiny bit of coverage as well. So this is definitely something that I think I could get away with using on my legs, because I am so fair. Even when I put fake tan on, I think that having something that's a bit more on the olive or orange side would just look a little bit too harsh on me, whereas with the peach colour I feel like I can get away with it when I'm fair and when I'm tanned as well. So I'm really happy that I picked up that. I really wanted to pick up some kind of like setting powder, because I ran out of my Rimmel one, and I thought, considering there's a lot of brands there that I wouldn't normally see in the shops, it would be a good opportunity to try something new. So I picked up the Ben Nye Fair setting powder, and I just picked up the small jar of it just because I wanted to give it a go. I like the fact that it's got a little bit more of a pinky undertone. It's a very subtle pinky undertone, and I've heard pretty good things about this. Ben Nye as a brand, I've heard quite a lot of things, like good things about, so I'm excited to try this. Obviously I will let you know how all of this goes. I might do like a tutorial where I use everything, but yeah, I am really excited to try this out. I really wanted some good quality makeup for my wedding, and I figured this might be a good time to kind of dabble into a couple of different things, and this to me is what I would think of as more of a professional brand. So I'm really hoping that it's not going to give any kind of white flashback, although this does have talc in it. I'm not sure if that's what actually gives the white flashback, but I will give it a go and test it on like photography and stuff like that as well. So I picked up that. And something else that I really wanted to pick up and kind of treat myself to was some glitter. I love like when people have like glitter pigments on their eyes. I just think it looks so nice, and it's just not really something that I tend to buy. I think that I wanted like the proper glitters where they just look almost, I guess in a weird way, like thick on your eye, and was really like sparkly and glittery. And I'd heard of like lip cosmetics and things like that, but looking online it was really difficult, and I really wanted to kind of see them in action. When I was in the queue to IMATS, I heard some girls talking about AHHH Cosmetics and saying that they were having really good discounts and it was a really good brand. So I saw them and I went over, and the lady that was there, she swatched loads of the colours on her arm. She was wiping them over with a brush and they just looked amazing. She said you could use them on your eyes and on your lips. So I decided just to pick up one colour. It was really difficult to choose what colour I wanted, but I really wanted like a really nice kind of light gold. So I picked up, this is the colour Sahara, but it looked absolutely gorgeous when she swatched it. I think this would be really nice to do like a liner with, or like a line in your crease and things like that. And I did also pick up the adhesive as well, which is what she used when she applied them. So I'm really, really excited to give that a go. If it is nice, then I might look on their website and pick up a few more, because they do, a lot of the places where I went to gave you little cards that gave discounts if you wanted to order stuff online, which I thought was really good as well. Another thing that I was pretty sure that I wanted to pick up was a foundation. It was a little bit difficult for me to find a foundation, because it was a little bit crazy, and there was particular brands that I wanted to try, because it's not something that I would normally see in the shops to swatch or anything like that. And there was another store that had like various different brands, and one of the main brands they had was Makeup Atelier. I've heard Wayne Gosh talk about Makeup Atelier so many times before on his channel, and it's a really good brand, and the prices that they had were really good as well. So I decided to pick up the waterproof liquid foundation again, because it seemed like a good wedding makeup. The only thing is the shade. It was really difficult to pick the shade, because there was one shade that I'd seen that I thought would be perfect, because I do think I want a slight tan on my wedding. I don't want to like really fake tan like I normally would, but but I don't want to be as fair as I naturally am, just because I don't want to look really washed out in pictures. So yeah, it was really difficult to find a shade, but I'm pretty sure I found a good shade. I got the shade Ultra Beige Pale, so it is quite a fair shade, and it's got, I would say it's more of a neutral undertone as opposed to like a yellow or pink. I really like this packaging. I feel like it looks really like fancy. I am really excited to try it. I don't want to swatch it or anything, but it's supposed to be a nice kind of natural looking makeup, and obviously as it's waterproof, this is the first time I've ever actually tried a waterproof foundation. It should be really good for like if I cry or anything like that. So this is the kind of colour that I think I want to be. So it's not too dark. It's maybe just a shade or two darker than what I am naturally, but I definitely think that this is going to be a good one. And I think that if I wore a foundation that was really pink toned, it tends to look on me really weird in photography. So yeah, I'm really excited to give this a go. I'll definitely probably do a first impressions on my channel, maybe just on this, and then kind of do everything else separately, because I feel like this would be worth a whole video talking about. So yeah, I picked that up. I ripped the box as well because I was really excited on the train to see it properly. I obviously had to go to the NYX counter. I actually met someone that worked on the NYX counter on the way to IMATS, and she was so lovely. And I was really hoping that I'd get a chance to properly talk to her, but she seemed a bit busy when I went there. But I only ended up picking up one thing. I really wanted to get some of the single eyeshadows. I think they're like the prismatic or something eyeshadows, but I couldn't see them there, and it was really busy on that counter, so I decided just to only get one thing. This is one of the lip lingeries, and I got the colour Lace Detail just because it seemed like a really pretty colour. They didn't have testers there, which was probably a lot easier for them, so it was just a case of kind of just picking up what you like to look of. And I think that this looks like a really nice colour. It's not too dark. I don't actually have anything on now, so I might actually try this on now. It's got a bit of a funny smell to it. I'm pretty sure this is like a matte formula. So this is what it looks like. I actually really like this. It's more of a like a moussey texture, but the formula is quite thin, which is really nice. So yeah, I do really like it. I'm going to see how it wears kind of throughout the day. I do think it is drying down a bit, but it's definitely a really nice colour. I think it looks a little bit lighter than what it does in the tube, which to be honest I'm actually quite happy with, because I've been looking all over the place for like liquid lipsticks that are not really pale nude and that kind of Kylie Jenner darker nude. I wanted something that's a bit in between, and this seems perfect. So yeah, I'm really happy I picked that up. And then I went to Z Palette. This is a huge bag considering there's one thing in there. So I really wanted to get a smaller Z Palette, and to be honest I had no intention of actually visiting their counter, but when I saw them it kind of reminded me that I wanted a smaller palette to travel with, because I've got the large Z Palette, which I absolutely love. It's a leopard print one, but I just figured that a medium or a small one would be ideal just to put my kind of eyeshadows that I really want to use in, just to save a little bit of space. And they had these, I'm not sure if they're limited edition or anything, but these kind of funky patterned ones, and I just think that this looks so nice. So this is what it looks like. It's got what looks like actual glitter on it as well. It feels a little bit thicker than my other one I got. The other one I did get from the Makeup Geek website. It does also come with some magnets as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it seems a lot deeper than my other Z palette, which is actually probably really good, because then you can fit like domed eyeshadows and blushes and stuff like that inside. I'm really happy I picked this up. I like the size. It looks like I can fit a ton of eyeshadows in there, but it's small enough where it's going to fit in a decent sized makeup bag. So yeah, and it is really cute as well. I really like the packaging. It's got like gold foiling on it as well, so this is definitely something that I'd want to keep clean. My original one is getting a little bit dirty, so I picked up that. And then the last couple of things I got were some eyelashes. I never really buy eyelashes, I never treat myself to them, and I don't know why, because I absolutely love wearing false eyelashes, especially on like special occasions and things like that. So I wanted to kind of look at what kind of eyelashes they did, and I knew that there was going to be a velour booth, so I definitely had an intention of picking some up. So I only got one pair. If you know velour, then you'll know that they are fairly expensive eyelashes, but you're supposed to be able to wear them like 25 times, which is a lot more than what I normally wear eyelashes for anyway. I'm really happy about that, so I'm just going to rip this open so I can show you them. So I picked up the style You Complete Me. I just thought they looked so nice. This is the first time I've actually seen them. The packaging as well is just so cute, the way it's in like a little magnetic box. This is what they look like. So they are pretty natural looking lashes, which is exactly what I wanted. I've got quite kind of small eyes, so I just feel like I wanted something that looked nice. I am slightly scared to take them off there though, because I don't want to ruin them. Yeah, I was really torn between these and Wispy Me Away, I think, but I do like the way that these are kind of longer and thicker in the outer corner than they are in the inner corner, just because I think that could look quite nice as well, and it's just a little bit different than what I normally get, so I picked up then. And then I went over to Eldora false eyelashes. I'm pretty sure I've heard some people talk about these before, and they had so many different kinds. It was really hard to choose from, but they had some offers on as well, so if you picked up like a certain number, and they had kind of different types. So they had like normal ones, and they had like the kind of like the multi-layered ones, which is the ones that I picked up. Yeah, I just think that these are really nice. So I got the style M110, which looks like this. So they definitely look a little bit more dramatic. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there is a little bit of like layers to them, which definitely looks really cool. And I like the fact that they're kind of thicker in the middle, so they are a little bit different to the velour ones. And then I got the style M102, which again are more on the dramatic side, and they've got the kind of layers to them. I like the fact that the thickness of them changes throughout the lashes. I just think that looks so nice. The thing about eyelashes is they can sometimes look so dramatic in the box, but then when you put them on, they're not as dramatic as what. And I'm pretty sure these all come with adhesive as well, which is pretty cool. And then I've got the H174. These look pretty cool as well. They're not very wide, which I like, and they've got the kind of spikiness, which I think look really, really pretty, and they almost look like doll-eyed lashes. And then the last ones I got was H151, which are just very kind of simple. They just look like wispies. They remind me of the Huda Beauty Samantha lashes, the way they're kind of, the wispiness at the ends changes. So yeah, the bands on these look pretty thin as well. Obviously with the more dramatic lashes, the M110 and the M102, they are slightly thicker. The band on the velour lashes did look fairly thick as well, which is okay, I don't mind. I don't think I'd have to cut down the H174s, but I think the rest of them would probably be slightly too wide. But I am super excited. I'm so happy that I got these. These are just... The eyelashes, I have to say, are probably my favourite thing that I bought, just because it's just not something that I would normally buy. It's something that I normally avoid just because eyelashes can be so expensive. But yeah, I am definitely really happy. Whew. So that is everything that I bought. To some people it's probably not a lot. I've seen hauls that are much bigger than that, but to others it's probably a lot. So I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about my experience. I've wanted to go to IMATS for years, ever since I've been watching YouTube and I've heard people talking about it. It just sounds like such a fun thing. The one thing that always is kind of a bit I guess, sad in some ways, is that I don't really have any friends who are as into makeup as me. My sister is into makeup, but I would still say she's probably not as into it as I am. And obviously the tickets, I paid £45 for my ticket to go, and it's quite a lot of money to somebody who isn't really that into makeup. Going on my own, I already kind of had the expectation that it would be a little bit like nerve-wracking for me, especially travelling all the way to London on my own was a little bit scary. So yeah, but I really wanted to go. I had a look, and obviously you can see the list of people that are going to be attending, the brands that are going to be attending, and I was so excited when I saw the list. I recognised so many names of things that I'd tried before, things that I really wanted to try, so I just thought it was perfect. And John was very kind enough to get me a ticket. So yeah, I got the ticket quite a while ago, and then last week it was kind of on my mind a lot as to whether or not I was going to go early, like super early, or maybe arrive slightly later on in the day, because obviously I went on the Saturday and it was 9 till 5, and I live, to get to London on train takes about an hour, and then when I looked on the underground, it took about half an hour to get from King's Cross to Olympia, which is where it was. So that's about an hour and a half minimum. Obviously you've got like the waiting for the trains and everything like that, and the walking. So it was a case of either getting up really early, or just kind of getting up as and when, and just arriving as and when. I decided to get up really early. I got up at 5:15, which was super early. I knew I wanted to do quite a dramatic makeup look and get myself all ready for it. So I ended up getting on the train at about 10 to 7, and I arrived at the place where it was held at, I'd say, about 8:30. I was expecting to get there and there'd be like a massive queue that I'd have to join the end of, and I was so surprised that there was probably maybe 30 people in front of me-ish. There was not a lot of people in front of me. I could see the door, so I was so happy when I got there, and by the time it got to 9 o'clock, the queue was just ridiculously huge behind me. So if you're definitely someone who likes to get in places first, I would get there as early as possible, because there was a lot of people arriving as I was. So I was definitely very lucky to be quite close to the front. They came round and scanned our barcodes and stamped our hand as kind of like your entry thing. So all you had to do when you walked in, rather than everyone having to get checked, was to show the stamp that was on your hand. And obviously they did bag searches as well, which was fine. I was gonna vlog, but up until that point I was really nervous about travelling. I wanted to make sure that I was going to the right places, because I thought I'd gotten up so early to get there early. I didn't want to get lost, and I didn't want to end up getting on the wrong train. So I was really concentrating on that, plus the fact that I just felt like it wasn't really worth vlogging all that. In the morning as well, as soon as I was ready, I just left straight out the door. I locked John and Brooke in the house as well, unfortunately. So I was definitely in a bit of a rush. Then when we walked in, there was obviously the tables with all the bags and things like that on, and then you could see all the booths. I was just expecting there to be a sea of people everywhere, and it was just really quiet. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to kind of just walk around and see where everything was. And again, I was so like busy concentrating on what I was doing that I wasn't really paying much attention to vlogging. And I expected there to be quite a few people doing it, but I didn't see anybody with like cameras out or anything. So, and I'd also heard some people saying that some, you know, like booths don't like anything being pictured or filmed or anything like that. So I just figured that it would be a lot easier to just concentrate on where I wanted to go. Also in the queue, there's some girls behind me, and I heard them talking about the discounts, because when you book the tickets, it doesn't say anywhere what the discounts will be, and even if you go onto brands' websites, it doesn't say what the discounts are going to be. For some reason I had it in my head there would be huge discounts. I feel like that's the way it's always kind of been portrayed, but the girls behind me said that there wasn't huge discounts, and they were almost disappointing. So I was a bit nervous. I was thinking, because obviously I didn't want to spend a huge ton of money. I wanted to spend a fair amount of money, but you know, being realistic, I had a fairly small budget in my mind. So I looked around at everything. This is another thing as well. Some things were priced up, like every single item was priced up, or the offers were priced up. And other places, there was absolutely no prices. So it was a bit difficult to have to ask people prices of everything, especially when you'd ask them, and then if it's too much, you'd be like, oh no, okay, what about this? Well, what about that? What about this? And that was something that I think I wish that everything was just priced up. It just would have been so much easier, considering, you know, sometimes that you'd walk into a booth and they'd give you a basket or a little tray thing for you to put all the things you want on. And obviously for me, because I had a budget, I didn't want to go and waste all my money on one stand. That's definitely something to keep in mind. If there is particular brands that you really do like and there's things that you know that you want to get, I would definitely go to them first. There was Kat Von D, MAC, Makeup Forever were probably the three main ones that seemed to be the busiest. The Kat Von D line was so big that they had to stop people going like into the booth, because, and then even the line to get in was just ridiculously huge. I definitely like Kat Von D stuff, but for me personally, it's something that I could find in Debenhams and order online. And I think that because of the kind of things that I knew I wanted to get, as I just showed you, there wasn't anything in particular that I wanted to get from Kat Von D. So I felt awkward lining up for something if I wasn't going to buy anything. Especially as they were giving like bags and baskets out, because I think they just expect that you will just fill them up. I did have a look around MAC, but again, it was just so busy. It was so busy. Most of the places where I went to, either I didn't have to wait long or there wasn't really much of a queue. And the people there were all really nice and friendly and so helpful. So yeah, I feel like, because I've seen people vlog and stuff like that at IMATS, that I just had a different expectation of what it was going to be like. I wasn't in any way disappointed. I mean, obviously I wish that the bigger brands had bigger discounts. I think it's, you know, people would have spent more time and more money there had there been. But I am super happy with everything I bought, and I'm glad that I got to discover new brands. I think that's the one thing for me, is I wanted to use it as an opportunity to do that rather than buy stuff that I already know that I would get. If I definitely would like to go again, I really want to go next year. But I think a couple of things that I would do differently is I would save up a lot more money, just because the discounts do vary quite a lot. I mean, sometimes it can only be 10% and then other times it could be 50%. So it does vary a lot. And I think I would also like to go with somebody. Hopefully my sister would go next year. I think the dates change as well. I don't think it's always the same time every single year. But yeah, I do think it would be really nice to go with somebody. I ended up being there for less than 2 hours because I'd kind of spent as much as I felt like I wanted to spend, and I'd got enough products where I was happy. And when I left, so I left at about 10:30, 11:15, and the queue to get in was still absolutely huge. So I think people arrived throughout the day. Obviously there's like talks and things like that. Yeah, overall I am so happy that I went. It definitely was a really fun experience. I just think the fact that I was on my own made me feel a bit awkward in some ways. I think going with somebody would have made it nicer. So that's just the only thing that I would say that I would do differently. Sorry, my camera just cut out, so I can't remember what I was saying because it overheated. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to go to IMATS, I would definitely recommend going. I'm sure that as the years go on, it will change. There'll be different brands and things like that. So it's really good that you can see what to expect. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.